Hmm. You like.
Hello and welcome to Sports Intellect Podcast. And I think this podcast right here, episode, is going to be dedicated to all the Barcelona fans. A long wait yesterday. El Clasico's finally come good for them and their way. I'm glad to have Abel and Anthony on the show. First of all, Abel, going straight to you. What are your thoughts on this win yesterday? The El Clasico. Finally, you got something to rejoice in a Real Madrid clash.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 2 years and pending, right? Almost three now. 2019 was the last when Barcelona defeated Real Madrid. And since there on, it was all Real Madrid domination. You saw Barcelona struggle quite often against Real Madrid because one of the last games which gave me a lot of hope was that Super Cup Espana where they played in Saudi Arabia. The game went to the extra time and Real Madrid took points. But from there on, one thing was pretty certain that this Barcelona team could fight and this Barcelona team could actually take the game to the opposition. And that's where I found this team to be very different and this team to be playing like the way they did yesterday. I was so proud. And I would say the catalyst for yesterday's win would be that game, that loss which Barcelona suffered against Madrid in the Super Cup Espana because that game turned it around, and from there on, it's become Forza Barca because we've been winning all the games 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. And yeah, 4 has been the key number, defeating Napoli 4-0, defeating Atletico Madrid 4-0, Real Madrid 4-0. And yeah, I mean, it's 9 more games to go in the season, or 10 more games to go in the season. You never know what awaits. You're on mute.
Anthony, now what do you think? Do you think finally there's a balance in powers in La Liga, and how do you look at it at a larger
Uh,
extent when it comes to football itself?
uh, I think the basically the duopoly which is between Real Madrid and Barcelona, where the gap between them was very wide between them for the past couple of years. I think yesterday's match I think it's coming to an end to that. I think it's coming back to the days where Real Madrid and Barcelona are going to be dominating La Liga for the next decade. I think with the youth of talent they hold, and with the ideas and with the new developments they are going to be implementing. Um, yeah, it's. I mean, yesterday's match was such. It was just. It was such a culmination of efforts for Barcelona. It's what they've been waiting for. It's what they've wanted more than anything else. And I think most football fans would also appreciate the fact, not just Barca fans, that they have gone back to their roots and they're implementing ideas. They're implementing things which is very familiar and which has been most effective for them. Um, and yeah, it makes everyone happy if you play just wonderful football. So yeah.
Yeah, so and that's a great news, especially the fact that Barcelona fans have had quite a lot of disappointments. It's good to see someone like Xavi come in, change the game. Club legend, obviously part of a great Barcelona team himself is changing this team around for the good. I think I'll start with my favorite aspect of the win there was yesterday, and actually, if you look at this resurrection of Barcelona, it's probably Aubameyang. He's been a pariah for the Arsenal club, not having difficult relations with the manager there, Arteta, coming into Barcelona. A lot of questions on his signing, and he's completely turned it around, isn't it? 5 goals, if I'm not wrong, in 6 matches is great, and he's doing really well. So, what are your thoughts on that? I'll start with you, Anthony.
Well, Oba's a bit of a tricky one, right? I think with Arsenal, it's tough to say it was because of the manager's faults, because he himself was underperforming. He wasn't putting in the effort. He was a senior player, and he was not acting like a leader in the Arsenal dressing room. So, but I think with Barcelona, it's a new environment. It's the manager's quite clear with what he demands from Aubameyang with Oba, and it's just it's whatever the way which Xavi wants to play, it just suits Oba. And yeah, I think the key difference was I think Oba he requires a very positive and a very um, very exciting and a comfortable environment for him. If things get difficult, I think he tends not to perform in that place, which is where I think next season I mean next this probably this year we will be able to see the Amazon documentary of Arsenal, where we'll get more insight into what exactly happened between Oba and Mikel Arteta. So yeah, I think with this he's got I think he's got 9 goals in 10 games. Is it? Because yeah, it's he's been consistent in the way he's been playing, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just we're coming back to the old Oba, which is goals, goals, goals. So yeah.
Hmm. True.
Yeah, Abel, what do you think of his resurrection in Barcelona colours? Seeing him do well for them and contributing in terms of goals and even an assist, if I'm not wrong here. The last match.
See, I reckon one of the things which we actually criticized in the same podcast, me, Anthony, and Sankey last time, when Oba was initially, there was this rumor about Oba coming to Barcelona, was whether Oba is going to be this fit into Barcelona system, because we've never seen him play in this kind of a system before, let it be for Gabon, Dortmund, Arsenal. But this time around, what has happened is that they've used Obart to perfection. They've told him you're going to be up front. We don't want you to play a false nine kind of a role. You're going to be a striker who's going to be the target man. We're going to deliver the balls into you and just have to finish it off. That's exactly what Barca lacked, right, at the start of January. And now, if you look, Barcelona has got a formidable unit because of Aubameyang. And now people are actually fearing Barcelona because of the pace what Barcelona is bringing. Now, Barcelona is not just scoring a certain template of goals. What we usually see from Barcelona, it's not. It's just not keep the ball and pass it around, break the lines and score. It's also more counter-attacking from Barcelona. So it's something which is very impressive from Barcelona because of the pace what Barcelona has got up front with the likes of Ferran, Adama Traore, Aubameyang, and these and Dembele as well. That helps Barcelona to do the attacking transitions on a very quick pace, and that's something which we don't usually see of Barcelona. That's what Xavi is bringing into effect as well. And if you see a Barcelona yesterday's game, especially with Oba, what you get is a player who can actually play the long balls into as well. When if Barcelona is not kind of team who plays the long balls, they are someone who likes to play it on the ground, pass it around, break the lines, and get the players into the box and score. But when you have Aubameyang, he's a tall personality. He can finish things off pretty well. The first goal which Aubameyang scored as well, and also the fourth goal which Barcelona scored, right? It was a long ball which they converted. So that's something which is great to see from Barcelona. They have been able to adapt pretty well according to the demand of the game and according to the game situation. So now you're not getting a certain set template. And European football has changed so fast. You cannot play in a certain template like how you could say a tiki taka was something which Barcelona was known to play. But Barcelona plays tiki taka. They would like to have the ball more often than not, but also you need to adapt as to the situation. If the opposition team is keeping a high line, you need to play the long balls, you need to run, and if you're on the attacking transition, you need to make the transition very quick. So it tests the opposition defense as much as it could. So you cannot play that low block as well, right? You cannot play the low block because you can play the long balls and you can probably create those chances like what Barcelona did yesterday. And that's where I thought Ancelotti did not have any game plan. He was absolutely baffled as to what Xavi was going to bring, and he brought in different tactics. I mean, the way Barcelona played, to control what they had in the midfield, and especially top big ups to their defense as well. Something which we criticized so many times in this live of sport intellect, that Barcelona's defense is their major issue. But Araujo, the way he stepped up, were big ups to him, man.
Yeah, I think as he spoke about the template and how Barca has been changing it up, Barca isn't playing the way we expect them to play, the traditional way of playing. What do you guys think of Real Madrid's tactics yesterday? And do you think there was a flaw in the tactics that were deployed, or was it just the Xavi ball brilliance and the Barcelona being reborn and just the fact that they do not expect that level of game, or was there a fundamental flaw with the tactics as well? I'll start with you, Abel.
See, that's exactly what I just finished off with. Real Madrid, they were starting without Benzema, so one of their target man was missing. So they had to bring in Vinny to play in the number 9 role, and they could have probably, and they were also trying to bring in someone like Modric to make those runs in with Rodrigo. I thought they would have slightly missed. They should have played a proper striker with the likes of Mariano or Jovic. maybe that would have made it more accomplished, and Real Madrid could have stuck on it. 4-4-2 is what they lined up on the paper, but I thought they couldn't adapt to it. They couldn't adapt to that game situation where Barcelona had a lot more ball and they had no questions. And there's one thing which we saw of Madrid in the game in the first leg against PSG as well. When Madrid do not have the ball and when the opposition actually presses you, they're out of question. And this is a major flaw with Madrid right now. You could say it's because of the weak legs of Casemiro and Toni Kroos. They are coming to the wrong side of 30s slowly, but that is what is being now exposed by Barcelona, something which Barcelona were exposed to for a quite a long while. That the old legs coming into coming old legs being their biggest downfall. But now for Madrid, that's been their biggest downfall as well. That the likes of center defensive midfielders were not able to make those presses. And yesterday, nobody pressed Sergio Busquets. I thought Sergio Busquets had a lot of space to play with, and he was absolutely phenomenal yesterday as well. That's one of the most classical Sergio Busquets game which you would see from Barcelona. When Sergio Busquets plays well, Barcelona plays well. That's been the case with Barcelona for the last 1 decade, and that's exactly what happened yesterday as well. Nobody was there to press on Sergio Busquets. There was no counter pressing tactics. One thing which Ancelotti feared was if he plays a low block and if he loses, people will blame him. So he wanted to keep a composure between a mid block and a low block, but at the same time, he did not have answers to what would be the case if Barcelona are pressing high. Is he going to counter press? Is he going to have the transition? I thought even the game against PSG, Real Madrid had 15 minutes of good game, and that's where they won. They did not have a great game at all, even in the second leg. It was just that period of 15 minutes where they did well. So, and it was PSG's usual things of bottling. They absolutely bottled it. Defensive errors cost them the game. So now they're absolutely challenged, and they will be challenged against Chelsea as well in a couple of weeks' time.
Over to you, Anthony.
Yeah, I think it's also the players. It's just the players underperformed too. It wasn't just about the tactics and the game plan. They really didn't step up. I think they just probably felt too overconfident of the fact of coming off the PSG win, and they really underestimated what Xavi was bringing into the game and what Barca was going to be performing, the way Barca was going to be performing. I think David Alaba he probably was the only player that I found to be performing at his consistent rate. It's tough to say. I think probably in the first 10 minutes we saw a glimpse of Real Madrid, but no, it's just I mean, with how I just have to agree with with how Abel said. They really didn't expect. I mean, Sergio Busquets was untouchable yesterday, and uh, it's just evident of the fact that they had to do more. Like Real Madrid had to do a lot of work. They had to start pressing, and they had to do. Um, they just they just had to press. I think they and it wasn't efficient, and that's what I found. It's defensively they were poor. The lines were very easy to break, and with the last two goals too. I mean, Ferran Torres had a very easy chance with just one through ball, and defensively they didn't step up. Maybe with losing Ferland Mendy, and they probably didn't have Dani Carvajal, but the wingbacks are a very crucial part of how Real Madrid play. But the rest of them did not step up at all, and it's just 4-0. That's disappointing for Real Madrid with the way they've been so far this season.
So, as Anthony spoke, I think that's pretty much the next point that I'm going to bring into is where do you think from here Real Madrid's going to go? I mean, they obviously have the Champions League leg that is coming up against Chelsea, and also La Liga, where they are right now, table toppers, comfortably at the top as of now. But do you think, with the flaws that we have spoken about right now, do you think those are going to really affect them? Especially given the fact that you look at UEFA Champions League, where they will be challenged, if not, will be facing a huge mountain of a task against Chelsea. I'll start with you, Anthony. Where do you think Real Madrid's chances
Yeah.
are against Chelsea, especially, and considering the La Liga table as well?
Um, Against Chelsea, yeah. If they have Karim Benzema, then yeah, I think they would be probably able to score a goal. But otherwise, I don't think it's going to be interesting with how Carlo Ancelotti is going to be setting up for us, because the last season they played against us in the semis, and both legs I felt like we've absolutely battered them, and it's with the way Real Madrid play, it's they're an adaptive kind of style. That's been their identity. They are warriors on the pitch, and they're going to have to be true warriors when you play against this current Chelsea side, which is, with the characters that we have, with the personalities that we our team holds. It's going to be a clash of it's going to be a clash of characters too. And with I think with the way Tuchel will be setting up, with the way our players just show up in Champions League games, with the way we played against Lille. Rather, if you look at how we play against Lille and our other Champions League games again, compared to our Premier League games, it's just evident that we always show up in these individual cup games, and I think we're going to be doing that with the way Harvard's has been in form. Yeah, I don't want to go more into Chelsea, but yeah, I think Real Madrid is going to. I think Karim Benzema is going to be a huge, crucial part with the way they play. They're going to have to be poaching goals, and um, they it's not. They're gonna have to bring more than their tactics to the game. They're really gonna have to step up against us. I think with the La Liga season, I think they're gonna win the title very comfortably. It's in their hands. They've been doing it. They've been churning out these kind of results, these kind of titles year after year, and it's in their DNA. But this season of Champions League is this fixture is going to be, I believe, it's going to be extremely tough for them, because yeah, Chelsea's been Chelsea's has we've been experimenting a lot too. It's not just the back three system. We've been going with the back two, where the wing backs just join as wingers, and we've been risking a lot. And yeah, I think it's going to be a mountain to climb against Chelsea.
Able, do you concur the fact that Madrid are going to be up against the odds when it comes to Chelsea in the Champions League?
Well, if you look at the situation and turmoil which Chelsea is going through, I would say it'll be 50-50 of a game to start off with. But then you understand that Madrid has never defeated Chelsea in a UCL knockout, or neither have they. So it's a huge mountain for them to climb. Just looking at the fact that Chelsea is a good team, and Tuchel knows how to play in cup competitions. Just about that Carabao Cup final where Kepa missed that penalty. It was a very good game of football, and it was. You have to accept that Tuchel is a mastermind when it comes to these cup competition ties. And UCL, he loves playing in the UCL. He made it to the UCL final a year ago. He won the UCL. He's one of the best managers in the world right now, and he knows he comes up with these great tactics. And Chelsea, when they press, they look really good as well. And they have got the likes of Conte, they've got the likes of J5, and they have got these lads who will actually step up in these big competition ties, and that's something which I would love to see. People talk about one of the issues which Chelsea will face is their striker. If Lukaku is going to start, and if he's not going to score goals, that's going to be a major issue for them as well, because Lukaku will have to finish chances against Real Madrid, because you're not going to get chances very often in these big games. And if he's going to miss it, or if he's not able to create them at all, and Real Madrid are going to really pounce on it, and likes of Benzema, Vinicius Junior, these lads will really step up as well. So we have seen that with Real Madrid. They've got these moments of magic where they really come back hard and where they really push hard. And if they create one of those magics, you will see Real Madrid really coming on top. But then if Chelsea plays like the way they're known to play, it'll be Chelsea who will come up on top. So it'll depend on who turns up better on that particular day. I'm just sounding very cliche, but then I have to accept that with the current situation of Chelsea, that would be an added motivation for these lads to go in and show that, yeah, we really love this club and we want to prove it. And especially when it comes to like some of the academy youth products they have, they really want to play it for the club and they really want to win it for the club. So they will be up for their title defense with all power, and it's not going to be easy to play either in Bernabeu or in Stamford Bridge.
I think coming to another stars of yesterday's game is probably Araujo, who played really well and got in some really good runs onto the sides, scored a goal as well. So, what do you think? I'll start with you, Abel. What do you think his impact is for Barcelona, especially? And now, do you look at him as a permanent player in Barcelona or a long-term player for Barcelona?
Well, it all depends on his contract negotiations now because he's rejected the first offer which Barcelona has made to him, and he seems to be wanting more of wages. And all the European clubs are definitely eyeing on this lad because the kind of performance which he put out yesterday reminded me so much of Carlos Puyol when he used to don that Barcelona jersey and play in that position. And he wears the same number as well. So. It's not, he plays in the same position. So you really want players like him to step up, and he always showed promise. He had some of those big good games, but still, he was overshadowed by some of the defensive errors by other players. So he never got the credit. Yesterday was one of those performances where he had that role. He took up the responsibility, saying that I would mark Vinicius Junior, and I will mark him with perfection. Because even the Super Cup Espana, which I really like to go back to again, one area which Barcelona struggled was in the defensive transition and marking this lad Vinicius Junior. And Araujo came back, right after his injury. He played with a broken arm, and he did really well even in that game. Now he was totally fit. He had the pace, and even Vinny couldn't run past him. So Araujo, he for me is the future of Barcelona, and Barcelona needs to definitely invest in him because they don't have to look past and buying a quality European defender. Maybe they'll have to fill in the PK position, but if you just talk about Arauco's presence and the kind of he has a leadership quality in him as well. I see him as a future captain because he's got the drive even for Uruguay. Whenever I see him, this lad has got that captaincy tendencies. He pushes the team together with him, and that's something which you want from your captain, and that's something which you want to see from your centre back as well. So he playing a number 4 position is such a delight to watch, in my opinion. And yesterday's game was just an icing on the cake and it adjusted to the talent he has. I hope Barcelona renews the contract and he stays in Barcelona for so many years.
Anthony, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Arujo pocketed Vinicius
Absolutely.
this game, and yeah, he's been tremendous. I think he's been a very good defender. There's a lot of potential in him, but I think Barca should really focus on renewing his contract and just holding him down for the next seasons ahead. Um, uh, he was just tremendous in this game. Like Abel said, the previous defensive errors in the previous games with when Wasa was underperforming during Xavi and before Xavi, he was actually quite good. He was consistent with the way he played, and uh, he's got a leadership quality to me. He's very aggressive. He reminds me a bit of Rudiger. He's got that hunger, that aggression of strength and hunger. Then it's you're gonna have to keep a player like him because he keeps himself motivated. He keeps the whole team motivated, and he keeps the club motivated. So yeah, he's a great addition, and he needs and with the way PK's contract situation, with the way his time in Barca will be, as we will be seeing in in the upcoming days. I think they need a defensive addition. PK is past his prime, and they need someone who's experienced and but yet young, and who wants to win more trophies. And I think Chelsea's Anders Christensen is a very good addition, and it's quite evident that they've been looking into him for a while. And with an addition like him, I think Ronald Araujo, he can really flourish and he can really flaunt his talents. He played right back yesterday, and he was extremely good. And if he's going to be playing centre back and with another, very with a very experienced and a very good centre back, Arojo is, he's going to be a character like PK, and he's going to be playing like Puyol, I believe.
All right.
Just a question, yeah. I think
Yeah. So,
Christensen Barcelona is almost confirmed from what the reports we are getting. I
I
think
think I
Christensen.
think the contract situation is I think the wages are they have a there is an agreement between in place, but I don't think it's in writing so far. I think probably at the end of the season it's going to be
Yeah.
confirmed. Fabrizio's, I think he hasn't yet given up the thumbs up, but yeah, I think it's pretty clear that he wants to go to Barca and he will be ending up there.
Now, considering Chelsea's contract situation that they cannot renew any more contracts as well, it just looks like Christensen to Barcelona can be a done deal. Maybe by the start of the next season, you will see him in Barcelona colors, and probably he's a defender what Barcelona needs because you've seen him with the Danish team and you've seen him with Chelsea in big games. This lad steps up and he puts the heart on his sleeve. And if he really wants to come to Barcelona, he might have seen a thing or two about Barcelona. He might really want to play for the club, and maybe his addition with alongside Araujo could be the difference what Barcelona would need in defensive area. And maybe Barcelona are definitely looking at signing a left back and also a right back. They're looking at both the wing backs of Ajax currently, Tagliafico and Mazraoui. So let's see if Barcelona are able to complete that as well. It'll be a formidable unit which Barcelona will have at the start of the next season.
Well, the last, I think, point that I probably will want to look at is talking about resurrections. Dembele has come back, and at least the last game, what we saw is a testament of the talent that everyone's been speaking about. What are you guys' thoughts on him and his performance? And do you actually think now he's in contention to be a consistent player for them in their playing 11? I'll start with you, Abel.
Well, he was the same guy we all criticized. We all were talking about as ambulance, and we had whatever, what not, what all terms did we use. Well, probably he likes to play in the yellow jersey, and Barcelona should probably give the yellow jersey to him more often than not. And yesterday we saw the kind of Dembele which we saw in Dortmund. And in this season, if you look, since 2022, he's been the leading assist maker in Europe's top five leagues, 7 assists so far in 2022. And since I think he likes the criticism. He likes to prove a point now that fans were against him, teammates, the president was against him, but the only person who totally backed him was Xavi, and probably he's playing for that man. And you can see him
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, maybe Xavi showed total faith in him. Xavi was one guy who was very vocal about saying that he's still our player. We still got a lot out from him. We'll still get a lot out from him. And that's exactly what's happening. This guy has been dominating on the right hand side for Barcelona now. Yesterday, he totally had Nacho on his ground, Nacho on the field, because what happened with Real Madrid yesterday was they didn't expect Dembele to outpace Nacho like the way he did, and and something what you know about Dembele as well. He always had the talent. He always had the potential. It was about giving him that boost, saying that dude, go out there and play. And barring all the injuries, he could have been one of the best players in the world right now. But unfortunate for that man, that injuries has been a huge concern for his career progress. And now finally that he's been able to develop properly, he's been having a good season so far. I think from here on, Barcelona should again try once again to negotiate contracts with him. But if he doesn't agree, well, you cannot do anything more, right? Probably be getting a huge offer this season from a big club. That's for sure. And Barcelona can definitely profit from that for sure. And you will have Ansu Fati playing in his role, who's also a great talent. So Barcelona shouldn't worry much if he doesn't stay as well, because you already have a lot of players waiting on the wings, like Adama Traore, who Barcelona would definitely love to have him back. They'll definitely love to sign him back. And also someone like Ansu Fati, who's also going to be recovering in very soon time. So if you get all these lads back, you have a very good attacking lineup already there. So it depends as to what the Dembele situation is going to be. Let's see at the end of this, at the June transfer window, June July transfer window. It doesn't look like his agents are happy with Barcelona at all, because it was just a fall apart between the president and also with Dembele's agents, because Barcelona tried to give the best offer they could considering their financial situation, but Dembele was very stern with his demands as well. Now he's in a negotiating position because he's been doing well. So Barcelona should definitely come down and probably give him the waste what he wants, or else let go of him for a huge offer. But the issue is that now he'll be on a free transfer. Now they cannot let go of him in a big transfer as well, because his contract is running out and he's gonna go to a big club on a free transfer. And all the big clubs are gonna definitely eye on this guy, and especially someone like Bayern Munich, who I see might be getting this guy.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us.
I
I
think we should
think.
talk about ISL as well before we end.
Oh yeah, I definitely forgot about ISL. I think yesterday was the crescendo of a long running season, and heartbreak for a lot of Kerala fans out there, and joy for Hyderabad FC fans. Newly minted club, they've reached to the top. I'll start with Anthony, who's obviously got some strong feelings about yesterday's match. Anthony, how would you rate yesterday's final? Do you think Kerala Blasters were robbed of a title?
Robbed. It's. I think the refereeing wasn't up to the mark. I think both teams, both of the clubs would make that contention, but robbed as in you mean in the past
As in, I
in
mean,
the
the
other
chances
two
that they
finals.
had. Do you think, like, the game that they were, dominating? Do you think they could have come out
Yeah,
better?
I think we should have. We played a lot. I think we didn't. There was nothing going on in the middle ground. I think that's what I feel. The midfield, we always played through the long balls, and I think the way the coach set up the tactics it was good, but it wasn't. You can't expect players in the ISL to have that sort of efficiency and that sort of ruthlessness, and to take those chances. I think the chance that KP Rahul took, and it was a good shot. It was driven with power, and it had a bit of sling to it, but the goalkeeper should have done better, obviously. But the goal scored by the Hyderabad head C player, that was great. It is a goal of the season contender, especially that type of goal in a final. And extra time. I think is probably after the second half, the players, we just ran out of breath, and we played our best. I think we dominated. I mean, possession wise, we've done very great in the first half. We In the second half, we came up with more energy. We won the second balls, and we had a very high pressing system, and we took the ball back from them very. And I think when in the extra half, extra time, it was a game. It was probably a 50-50 game, and they did. Hyderabad played really well too. They should have they should have also taken the chances. But yeah, I think our forward players, we were unlucky. I don't I can't, I don't I've been saying unlucky the past three finals, but we were unlucky today. But when it came to the penalties, um, yeah, I think there should have been. They probably need to reevaluate and reflect on the penalty takers who should have actually taken the penalties. And I think it was just a dream for the goalkeeper with the way he when he saw the kind of players who lined up. It was just young players who they should have let the older one, the experienced one, take the first penalties. And when we, of course, when our defender Lukovic, when he missed the first penalty, it was the confidence level just went immediately down. And Shubham Gill too. I mean, throughout the game he did very great goalkeeping, but in the penalties he's not that's not his game. I think Albin Thomas should have. I mean, the second goalkeeper should have probably been in charge of that. But we've already used our subs, and yeah, the penalties we didn't show up. It's the players didn't. It's very poor penalty taking, and I think a lot of people had said this to me, but yeah, we're like RCB of IPL. We make it to the final, and you just give
And
up.
lose the
Yeah.
final Hyderabad as well. So yeah, it just makes
Yeah,
more
I
sense
mean,
now.
we've been in the game for we've been in the game since the start, and this was people say third time's the lucky charm, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah, we lose again. So yeah, to keep fighting. That's in them yellow. That's what we're gonna keep going with.
Evil, your thoughts. What do you think of the game as probably the rival of Kerala Blasters, being Bangalore FC fan? But aside from that, from an objective outlook as well, do you think
Yeah,
the match belonged to Kerala, or do you think Hyderabad had, or do you
absolutely.
think the match should have ended before penalties at least?
Yeah, I mean, the kind of chances which Kerala created, they hit the bar thrice, if I'm not wrong. And when you create those kind of chances in a final, and if you lose from there on in a penalties, it's definitely going to shake the dressing room to a huge extent. Which is going to be there, which is going to be felt among the players for a very long time. Now for Kerala Blasters, it's about again rebooting, coming to a new season, and getting started again from ground zero. So it's going to be a tough road ahead for Kerala Blasters. That's exactly what he compared with the RCB, right? I'll just give you an analogy from RCB because 2016 season was a dream season for RCB. Exactly what happened with Kerala Blasters now. And they went to the final, played against Hyderabad, yet again Hyderabad for Kerala Blasters as well. And and the entire game was dominated by RCB even then. Entire game was dominated by Kerala Blasters even now. And both losing out on the verge. And from there on to recover for both the teams, for RCB it took good 3 seasons to come back to top four. They were relinquishing in the bottom of the table for quite good time. And I hope it doesn't happen with Kerala because we saw what the impact of 2016 final left on Kerala for last 7 seasons. Because
Yeah,
and that final really did hurt them, and that's one of the reasons why they couldn't even qualify into the top four. They're qualifying into the top four for the first time since 2017, 2016. So and they made it to the final. So I'm happy for them in that extent. And they're such a good team. If you look at the way they played throughout the season, it was not one of those Kerala Blasters performance where they maintain low block and play from the back. It was total dominating performance. And yesterday I felt they totally missed Sahal Abdul Samad because a player like Sahal Abdul Samad, who is such a creative midfielder, and the kind of position he plays, kind of balls he delivers up front, and that's probably what Kerala Blasters missed yesterday. And if he would have been there, I think he would have created more chances, and he's also good. And one thing which I saw from Sahal this season was he was ready to press more up front, something which he wasn't doing in the last few seasons, and that's one of the biggest flaws which he actually received as well from a lot of people. He received a lot of flack saying that he cannot press. How can he be used as a proper midfielder? And this season he improved that, and I would like to give credit to I would like to give credit to their coach because Kerala Plus coach has really turned this team around, and also the players. They really wanted to play for this coach and they really fitted into the system well. So there's a good base which is created for Kerala Blasters now. If they can build on from here the next season, it's going to be only good things because they'll get a good transfer market to buy in some players as well, fill in those big holes which they have. And I feel one of the holes which they really have to fill is the defensive midfield position. Probably if they fill that, probably get a strong defensive midfielder to control the game, and probably it will help Sahal as well to an extent, and get probably a forward. Then they look like a good team going into the next season. But you never know with ISL, entire things change over a season. Next season, you might see an entirely new look Kerala Blasters side, and that's something which I would say I would blame the Kerala Blasters management. They've never been persistent with the coach or with players. They have been way too quick in changing as well. They've been way too quick in reshuffling the team, reshuffling the coach, and the entire system. And again, it takes a whole 3 years to again build. So I hope Kerala Blasters management doesn't do this time around. They stick on to the coach. They should trust on the players, and they renew the contracts, give them good contracts, and make them stay. If they stay and if they show trust in the coach, I believe Kerala Blasters has got good 2 to 3 seasons. But knowing Kerala Blasters management, I'm a little skeptical, and I'm afraid that they might do something which is really stupid, and that's going to really backfire on them as well. So that's something which I hope that they don't do it, because I remember one of the instances where they had David James as coach. They persisted with him, but one bad season and he was out, and that's something which I was shocked
yeah,
as well. Why would they do it? And now you have a good setup. This guy, he's brought in a very good footballing culture into Kerala Blasters setup, and he's got a bunch of youngsters to play with him. Because one of the criticism which Kerala Blasters always received over the years has been they play with the old legs. They give preference to 35-plus-year-old players from even from LB foreigner Albanians. But now they have young legs. They've got youth who they can actually invest upon. But if they don't let go of someone like Sahal, actually many clubs are targeting Sahal. They're ready to pay the entire money just on Sahal. Sahal is the hottest cake on the market right now. If they keep Sahal and build a team around him, I see Kerala Blasters doing well even the next season and the seasons after that.
Well, I think that's it from us for today. Great to have you all here.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for joining in, and We'll be coming back with a lot more content. This obviously the UEFA Champions League coming up. We will be following Barcelona, Real Madrid throughout, and many of the other favorite teams. We also have a lot of content on IPL and
Don't
cricket
put
as well.
Barca in the UCL.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, I think
Europe,
I did mention
Europa
and
League.
there. So it's
We'll be
Barcelona
following
and Real
very,
Yeah,
Madrid. But yeah, I should have probably been careful there.
we'll be
Cable
following
must have
Europa
definitely
League
been
very
there.
closely. We are the only channel who's going to report on Europa League like no other. We love the game. It's the best competition in
yeah,
Europe right
yeah,
now. Just love it.
We're
yeah,
hoping
yeah,
we're hoping for Abel's sake that this will be the only season we focus on Europa League and not
I mean, I
anything
think
else.
it's the only season. I mean, it's almost
yeah,
confirmed. Let's just not
yeah,
So
say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
anyway, thank you so much for joining in. We hope to see you again on another. I mean, on the other end again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
all.
just for IPL.
My
Yeah.
God.